Over the last 2 decades, I have learned a lot about money, from working as an investment banker, managing wealth for the rich, to completing a postgraduate degree in economics and finance, to reading books, as well as trial and error with my own money. And all of my wealthy clients understood this one money model I'm about to share with you in this video. The reason most people do not know about this is because it's the opposite of what we've been taught, and it also goes against our human nature. But if you can understand and apply this, it will completely change how you think about every financial decision you make. If you're new here, hi, I'm Jumoke. I worked as an investment banker for close to 2 decades, managing investments for the wealthy. I post videos every Sunday on personal finance and financial freedom with the hope of helping at least one person's finances in a meaningful way. So in order to apply this money model to your own personal finances, we need to understand 2 key money management terms. And these are 2 things that every single person has in common with companies or corporations. The first one is called your income statement, and the second is your balance sheet. I learned this model many years ago, and it completely changed how I approached my personal finances, and it really helped me see a significant growth in my net worth. So let's take a look at the income statement first. Simply put, your income statement is what you make, such as your salary, wages, investment income, business income, rentals, minus what you spend, such as your rent, your bills, groceries, internet, and your balance sheet is your assets, so things that put money in your pocket, such as your investments, business, IPs that pay royalties, minus your liabilities, things you owe that take money away from your pockets, things like your loans, credit card balances, unpaid taxes, etc. In order to grow your wealth, your income needs to be higher than your expenses, and you need to have more assets than liabilities. The trap that a lot of people fall into is that as their income increases, they also increase their expenses. And this is a trap called lifestyle creep. And it is by far the #1 wealth killer. Human nature is such that as our income increases, we realize that we can afford to buy better things, even though what we had before was more than sufficient. And so as we buy more and more expensive items, this act alone erodes the increase in income that we've received. And so this middle class trap means that although our income has increased, our liabilities and expenses have also increased, which puts us right back in the situation we were, or even worse. And so at the end of every month, we have nothing to show for the increase in our income, and we're not building assets as we ought to. And this is also why many people might look rich, but in reality, they're not wealthy. Wealth is assets, it's not income. From my experience with working with multi-millionaires and those who are richer, let me show you what wealthy people do, and you can of course apply this to your own scenario. When their income increases, instead of immediately upgrading their lifestyle, they use the extra income to buy more assets. The one thing that all of my clients had in common is that they were asset rich, and they lived off the income from their assets. And that was because their assets made more than enough income to cover their expenses. And these were a variety of assets that ranged from investments to businesses. And that is the beauty of owning assets. There are many good options, but I'd like to start with one asset that is often overlooked. And it's an asset that you see every day: yourself. You are the first and most important asset you will ever own. Your skill set, your mindset, your habits, your ability to learn. These are your unique assets that will create every other asset in your life. Think about it. The money you make comes from the value you bring, and the value you bring comes from who you've built yourself into over the years. When you invest in learning, in discipline, in improving your skills, you are building the most powerful asset of all, and you are increasing your earning potential. And I personally believe that education is grossly underinvested. 16 years ago, I completed a postgraduate degree, and this not only helped me build my professional network, it also taught me business skills that I still apply to this day. And so the next asset that we can plug into the lower left quadrant is a business. Take a look at what the top 0.1% of Americans invest in versus the bottom 50%. As you can see, private businesses are the second largest assets of the top 0.1% of wealthy individuals. And the beauty of the way the world is set up today is that you do not have to leave your 9-to-5 job to start or run a business thanks to the internet. I ran several businesses over the years and even whilst I worked. And some of these businesses were online operations, which was great because they didn't require my physical presence. And the cost of setting up some of these businesses was minimal, just a website. And because my costs were kept lean, it was pretty much almost all profit. So apart from investing, business assets can directly affect your income, and this can be a great path to financial freedom. Now, moving on to more traditional assets, you can have financial assets like stocks, index funds, ETFs, bonds, and the like. Now, referring back to this data, stocks are the number one asset that the top 0.1% of Americans hold, and it's the fifth largest asset that the bottom 50% hold. And financial assets work nicely because some of them pay interests and dividends, which you can reinvest to grow your capital base over time. Some other people like to buy things like property or real estate. For example, residential real estate or buy-to-let real estate or commercial real estate that you can let out to individuals or companies who in turn will pay you rent. And some other people might have intellectual assets which earns them royalty income. So this is income that you earn from allowing others use your intellectual assets, your creations, your resources, for example, books, music, patents, and the like. The great thing about all of this is that you are not limited to one option. A lot of wealthy people have a portfolio of different assets, and these assets in turn create different streams of income. So the big takeaway from all of this is to incorporate this model into your finances, and it will change the way you look at your assets, your liabilities, as well as your income versus your expenses. The bottom line here is, as much as is possible, we want to increase the left side of the quadrant, which is our assets and our income, and minimize the right side of the quadrant, which is our liabilities and our expenses. The one question that I often keep at the back of my mind, and I'd like you to apply this to yourself as well, when it comes to where my money goes is this going to put money in my pocket or is it going to take money out of my pocket? And it's okay if it's going to take money out of your pocket because we all have necessary expenses and sometimes we like to treat ourselves. But all of this should be done and considered with one ultimate objective in mind: financial freedom. And also remember that everyone's financial journey will look different to yours. But the premise is the same: to have assets that generate enough income to cover your expenses without you having to work. I hope this video has been helpful. If it has and you aren't subscribed, do not forget to hit the subscribe button for videos every Sunday on personal finance and financial freedom. I'll see you in the next one. Look after yourselves.